So now we enter into the final episodes of Danganronpa 3, starting off with Zetsubou-hen, episode 11. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's a nice way to end this little, well, not the series I should say, just end the Zetsubou-hen itself. We still got 2 more episodes of this stuff left, the final episode of Miai-hen, plus the special episode, which they might have kind of revealed the title for at the end of this, but we'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, it was a nice way to end it, but let's go through it. So, the episode itself started off with, of course, Sakakura going to Munakata to tell him that Junko is completely innocent. She has an alibi, and yeah, he doesn't provide Munakata with any actual solid evidence, but Munakata just believes him. And then, of course, afterwards, good old Sakakura takes out his frustration on some walls, and starts playing the familiar pink blood. Why is that we only got the pink blood in this Zetsubou-hen? I like the pink blood. Anyway, my question is though, if he punched the wall and then later, of course, probably wrapped up his hand from all the bleeding, how did he face Munakata with that? Did Munakata ask, hey dude, what's with your hand? Oh, I just fell down from the 10th floor and yeah, kind of scratched it. Oh, okay, I believe that. Actually, knowing how Sakakura managed to survive with his wounds from Miai-hen, and everyone telling me that it was because it was cauterized, yeah, I'm sure that makes sense, sure. Anywho, after that, Chisa then ran in and reunited with her precious Munakata with her crazy as all swirly eyes. Yeah, this can't end well. And then we get a little bit in between, a little title card in between that. And I'm guessing by that, that's probably when the, let's see, was that, since we did see, what was his name, Mazda a few episodes back, does that mean that the events of Danganronpa 0 occurred between that prologue and then after the title card? Oh, yeah, geez, we'll just have to wait for, I guess we'll just have to wait for an OVA before we can actually hear Mazda talk. I'm really curious of who they would get to voice him. But yeah, anyway, after that, then the most surprising thing of the episode happened. The Class 77 still attend their classes. Huh. Were they attending their classes the entire time of the events of Danganronpa 0? Just wondering, I'm like, so... They just attended classes, maybe they did stuff in the sake of despair in their free time, I don't know. Anywho, they're attending class, and now, of course, the riots have really gotten out of control, but they don't give a crap because they're about to make things worse as soon as they finish up their graduation. And oh boy, did they get a nice little graduation. But in between this, interestingly enough, Junko was having a little talk with Izuru, and they're talking. And one thing that he brings up is the fact that Izuru specifically asked to have every memory of him erased from the class 77, because apparently he wants to set it up to see which would win, hope or despair. It makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense by the end, but again we'll get to that. And yeah, so after they part, Junko and Izuru part ways, we then also go back to the class 77 and see their explosive graduation. Oh, also we get to see how all of them have just we also get to see their future career paths. Like some of them of course, them talking about how they're going to spread despair and spread despair and spread despair and all that. Everyone, yeah, has gone cuckoo, yet Nagito's still talking normally, by Nagito standards. But yeah, anyway, after their graduation, I'm guessing they somehow managed to escape a big explosion unscathed, and yeah, they run off and of course are starting off their despair campaigns. Meanwhile, the class 78 Jin, Kizakura, and Tengan are discussing their actions of how to deal with this. Jin, of course, planning to lock up lock up the Class 78 leading into the events of the first game. And of course, Kizakura is going to try and protect Kyoko. If that were the case, shouldn't he have locked himself with the class? Or nah, I don't know. Anyway, I won't harp on that kind of stuff. Anyway, after that, we then go back. We then see the Class 78 actually watching these guys work together to seal up the school. It makes me want to see them a little bit more because they're such a great group together, helping each other out. Sakura putting up the walls. Mondo helping Chihiro carry some boxes, and Celestia doing absolutely nothing and just sipping some tea. You know what? I'll let it pass. She's a legit boss. But during this, while Junko actually tries to test Makoto's ultimate luck, and interestingly enough, it actually saves him from an incoming wrench from Junko. So, yeah, he manages to slip up on a piece of paper, hurts his ass a little bit, but is saved from deadly head trauma. So yeah, he seems to. Junko notes that maybe not while quite as extreme as Nagito's, Makoto does have some form of ultimate luck, which of course Junko does possibly see as a threat. But then she just tells Mukuro she's not going to kill him just yet because she wants to purposely leave something that might lead to her doom later on, because that's Junko Enoshima. She does have a tendency to purposely leave in some kind of contingency that might lead to her defeat. And of course it does, thankfully. But yeah, just a nice little scene between the Class 78. We actually get to see some pretty good little bit of Makoto Sayaka for fans of that ship. Makoto is still best ship. But yeah, anyway, I would like to see more Mukuro and Makoto speaking with each other during that scene, by the way, but well, we can't get what we all want in the end. And in the meantime, Junko then enacts the big mass suicide again with her stupid little mind control video that just happens to be able to do anything, isn't it? Yeah, it's actually an awesome scene because it does harper back to the CG from Danganronpa 2 of the mass suicides with the buildings on fire and people falling, and of course we didn't see this, people running into the burning buildings. That's quite an effective way of committing suicide. It's going to take a little while for you to die from the burns, but yeah, if you commit suicide in the most painful way, that's nice. Anyway, then we also get to see a little bits of the Class 77 enacting their despair campaigns. I think Sonia does the best despair campaign. I think she's using her country's resources to actually order people around to do all kinds of crazy ass crap. Meanwhile, I think Akane is just in an alley with a vending machine. Okay. Anyway, it looks like the episode ends with Junko, of course, picking up a Monokuma plushie and laughing her evil maniacal laugh and all that. Credits roll, and then, of course, there's a little bit after the credits. We then enter into the prologue of a little bit of the prologue from Danganronpa 2. Of course, the big scene that they show is the meeting between Hajime and Chiaki. So Zetsubou-hen ends on a kind of bittersweet note, which I really like. We get to see the world go down the crapper, and yet we end with Hajime meeting Chiaki. I'd say that's pretty even. And then right before it cuts to black, we get a little something that says continued. Sorry, I had to go look up the episode again. It said a last message appeared at the end of the episode that said continue to the hope side. Bad English aside, that does seem like that's going to be like what they're going to go with next week's episode, replacing the Zetsubou-hen, which it looks like it's going to be the Kibo-hen, which will be a nice little ending. I guess hopefully it'd be a nice little happy ending for the original trilogy of Danganronpa. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed the Zetsubou-hen, aside from them not showing quite enough of the student console's killing game, in my opinion, and also I don't hate the whole despair video and all that, but it seems like a little bit of a tad bit too much of a convenient little plot point that kind of kills off some of Junko's momentum and kind of ruins a bit of her mystique. But other than that, I really did enjoy the Zetsubou-hen, and yeah, this was a nice way to end it. And I'm excited to see what exactly they're going to do for the Kibo-hen next week. But until then, I'll see you guys next week Monday for the final episode of the Miai Hand. Until then, though, farewell for now, my friends.